Well, this week was a disaster. A lot of our analytics are down. Our UGC is not performing like I was hoping it would. But in this episode, we're going to get into what the analytics actually looked like, the plan, and how we're hoping to turn this around next week. But first, if you're new here, I'm Grayson. I've been a developer for almost 6 years. Pretty much all of that's been in big tech and big tech adjacent spaces where the product was already defined, and it's much more straightforward to build things with product market fit. But I've always had the dream of going and building something of my own that can generate revenue, and so that's what this series is about. I'm trying to generate $1,000 a month in MRR, and I'm documenting everything. We're starting from absolute zero and seeing if we can put together something that actually generates real revenue, and along the way, I'm showing you everything. Analytics, successes, failures, everything I tried. Okay, so let's get into the damage. First, I want to start with the one number that is actually pretty positive, and that's impressions. We're seeing impressions that actually went up by 77% this week, which feels pretty good. I'm glad we have that, but it has not translated to product page views or downloads. Impressions went from 87 last week to 154 this week, so that's a huge jump. That number of impressions is making me pretty hopeful that we're becoming more relevant in search, and hopefully can see that translate into downloads. Our product page views has gone from 37 to 13 on unique devices. So that's just kind of fallen off a cliff. And as you can expect, that has translated pretty cleanly to the number of downloads. Downloads is 2, but in reality, we're kind of double counting a download from last week just based on like the time I'm pulling these. So downloads has really been 1, and I think it's been a re-download. So functionally, we're looking at basically 0 new users having downloaded the app. Doesn't feel great to see that. All right, so what's our theory? Well, I think a lot of our product page views might have been coming from YouTube. Our last week's video didn't perform very well, but the prior two had done pretty well. And I think a lot of people were going from the YouTube video directly into the product page view, which increased our numbers. And then with last week's not doing very well, I think we just didn't have that many people. I think our rate now is probably more indicative of what it would be organically on the App Store rather than kind of boosted by YouTube. Now, the part that's keeping me sane here is those impressions being up. I'm happy about that. I think that means that our app is starting to rank a little bit higher on certain metrics and is being seen by more people. One thing that I've been trying to get going is to get more ratings on the app. That'll help it rank a little bit higher. And of course, the people who are going to be higher up on the App Store are going to have less, not pickiness, but like they're going to be more willing to download apps. If you're 20 apps, 30 apps down, you're probably not downloading every single one. So that ratio of looking to clicking in is probably pretty low just for most of the apps that download. If you want to help me out with that, please go to the App Store and give it a download and a rating. That would help me out a ton here. And hopefully I could get up on some of the metrics. I also changed the ASO a little bit to be dinner ideas because we were already ranking for that. And I think a lot of our traffic came from that. So hopefully that can increase impressions, move me up the ranks a little bit, and increase downloads, increase page views. Oh, now as I teased at the beginning of the video, we did a lot of UGC these past 2 weeks, and I want to tell you about what I did, what I saw working, and what I saw didn't. So to start out, we had UGC across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I created a Blue Sky and a Pinterest account, but I think those are probably just extra work, and those are places that I'm not really familiar with, so I'm sticking to these 3 in real format. So I tried a ton of different formats. The one that's very basic and you see everybody trying is called the hook and demo. So a lot of people do like a hand over mouth thing, and then they put some text on the screen and then they show a demo of the app. I tried that across all 3 platforms. And what I found with that one, which was kind of interesting, is that it performed pretty mixed on TikTok, but on Facebook and Instagram, they were more of my outlier videos. They performed significantly better. I want to say that's probably just because TikTok, people are more exposed to this kind of thing and everybody recommends marketing on TikTok. But we're talking very, very little views still. I think my highest video had like 300 views maybe, which still is not enough to really drive any meaningful traffic. I think I've only had like 2 or 3 clicks into the product page from that funnel. So it's not really something that's notable, but seeing any outlier traffic is something that I want to pay attention to so that I can hopefully tailor content to each of the platforms and hopefully on one of them or multiple of them kind of explode and get that traffic. Another type of content I'm trying, I saw a competitor app trying this, is some food mashups. You do some food mashups, you do a carousel of the food, and then you ask them to comment and you will link the food, the recipe that they saw or wanted to try or whatever. I tried that out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. On Facebook and Instagram, it performed really, really poorly, which I thought was crazy because on TikTok, it was by far and away my most viewed video, and actually got one of my first comments that I was able to link the website onto. But some of them are challenge type videos where I say, you know, I let AI plan my meals for X days. Some of them are some kind of more lifestyle, like pain point videos where I, you know, put like fake like iPhone text messages on the screen. It displays like the problem statement, and then I go into like recipe things. One thing I've seen is I feel like there is higher engagement when I do show recipes, which I think makes, you know, sense. If I show food, people are more interested, and that's like the right target. But I'm gonna keep trying this. I don't think I've been trying it long enough to really assess that it hasn't worked yet. So I'm gonna keep going down this. Hopefully in a few weeks we'll see something pop off and I can go in and I can see that translate directly into the rest of my funnel. So this week nothing really worked, but I have a plan. I'm gonna keep going with my UGC. I think I can keep trying slight different variations and getting views. It's a slow trickle of views as well, but I think if I get a video to pop off, then I will have a huge influx and that would help me out a ton. 2, I'm gonna get reviews, hopefully on the App Store. I'm gonna ask everybody I know to leave a review, download the app, and hopefully that will boost my ranking enough that I can get more people seeing the page and hopefully more people downloading the app. 3, I'm gonna keep going down the App Store optimization route. I already changed my title again and some of my keywords to hopefully rank better. We're gonna check how that impacted our rankings when the App Store decides to do that. But hopefully that made an impact. 4, I just launched an experiment where I translated my entire app into Spanish and I did price localization for all of Latin America. I'm going to see how that impacts the search results. Hopefully we can see a lot of impressions there. It looks like when you look in Spanish at the App Store that there's just not a lot of apps that have translated themselves into Spanish and gone through that work. So hopefully that increases our impressions by a good amount and we can get downloads off of that. 3, and this is going to be the topic of the next video, I'm going into AI optimization, hopefully getting my app mentioned in AI searches. And the way I'm doing that is I have a blog set up and I'm trying to get frequent posting and get that indexed on Google and Bing, even though nobody uses Bing, and AI. So hopefully I can get some organic traffic via that. I'm gonna go into that way more next video and what I'm actually doing there and what I'm hoping I can get going there and how I'm approaching it. And then 4, I actually got an email from Pinterest, and it was from a salesperson at Pinterest trying to get me to buy ads, and they want to set up a meeting. I think they think I'm a bigger company than I am, and I don't think they know that I have $0 in MRR, but hey, you know, maybe I can get some free ad credits out of that and get some ad ideas and run some ads on Pinterest. So I have that meeting Monday. I'll see how that goes. If I can get some free credits, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I could try out some Pinterest ads and maybe I can get some guidance on how best to run Pinterest ads for people who actually work there. So those are my plans. A lot of irons in the fire. Hopefully one of them has a lot of success, or even a little bit of success would be really nice. Next week, we'll check in on how they all went, if I made any progress on any of them. So this week was pretty tough. It wasn't great to see all my numbers kind of dip and my analytics go down and feel like I was not making the progress that I was hoping I would make this week. Weirdly though, I have a lot more optimism this week than even in the previous weeks. And I think a lot of that is because I have a lot of different irons in the fire, a lot of different ways that I think I can generate traffic and think I might be able to get people to actually download the app. On top of that, I've been using the app a lot and it's been finding recipes for me really, really well. And so I think once users get into the app, once they trial the app, I think they'll be able to understand the value of it. And hopefully I'll have a good churn rate once people are actually in the app, but I'm still feeling optimistic about the whole thing. And next week in the Road to 1K MRR episode, we'll look at all of the things that we put in the fire this week. So we'll look at the blog, we'll talk about the Pinterest call, we'll talk about how Mexico performed, and hopefully our analytics are just a little bit better.